Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. So happy to have you with me. We are discussing truisms today. If you want to chime in on it. In fact, let's do this. Do me a favor. Call. Let us know what your truism is. One that you live by. One that you go, that's a fact, Jack. Right? 844-551-8255. For those of you who don't get in, we'll play your truism back on the radio on another show. And the reason why I love truisms is because of the truth. You know, you think about it. Sometimes these things capture us. They're karmic. They're karma in a cosmic way. Truisms are truisms. They're a reflection of society. They're a reflection of man's nature in many cases. So I like dealing with them. In the beginning, I want to talk about the Dickens book, Tale of Two Cities. He makes statements about society in his book, The Tale of Two Cities. And there's no further evidence. These are truisms widely accepted about society he's describing. And I want you to think about this in terms of what we're going through today. Because Dickens begins this novel, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And I want you to think about just that part for just a second. The best of times and the worst of times. We've gone through the worst of times with Barack Obama. Now we're in the best of times, but it still feels like the worst of times in many ways, right? We are in the midst of the best of times, but it's the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. Now, what's funny about this is I often say that when you mix those two things that differ together, it sounds profound, right? Like he who lies must also face the truth. You know, it sounds profound. But in the case of Dickens, it really is to some degree, because we are truly in the age of wisdom and we live in the age of foolishness. We've got a person now who's in control of the country, Donald Trump, who is a wise man. Wise in ways that many of us don't even understand. Wise in ways that have made him a billionaire and gave him an inside understanding of things that, quite frankly, we don't know because we walk around like bumpkins most of the time. Most of us, our aspirations are such that we are not going to deal with politicians too much. Maybe local, school board or something like that. But we're not trying to, build buildings in the middle of big cities where we've got to deal with unions and, graft and corruption and all that. Donald Trump set his sights on that for whatever reason, whatever his background was, his dad's background, whatever influences he had. And he says, this is what I'm going to do. And he learned the inside scoop, the tricks of the trade. So it was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. That's a tough word. You try saying that. It's like saying squirrel in French. Esquirrel. It's a tricky word. But it was the epoch of belief and the epoch of incredulity. So we live in a time where the truth is being revealed and we still have to be skeptical. The media made us this way. Donald Trump made us recognize it. Which brings me to the next part of the Dickens opening. It was a season of light. It was a season of darkness. So not only are we illuminating what's going on, what's been, messing up the body politic, corroding it, we also get a chance to see that. And in that revelation, we see the darkness. We see how bad things have gotten. And I'm going to tell you, you better be thankful that you're getting this view. I want you to think a decade ago. Would you have believed that we are experiencing the types of things that we're currently experiencing? Would you have believed it even possible? I wouldn't. If you had told me the NSA is capturing all your phone messages, they can turn on your computer, they can listen to you through devices that you think are private to you. Every conversation you've had in your entire life could be sitting in a computer somewhere. Everything you've ever typed on your computer is likely sitting on a computer somewhere. That information is in the hands of bureaucrats who crave power. They know your weaknesses, they know your strengths, and they will happily use your weaknesses against you. They talk about the Church of Scientology gets some, they want to know you're dirty so they can hold it against you. They got nothing on the federal government. Facebook could easily be one of those types of vehicles. Zuckerberg laughed at us when you say, yep, you can have all my data. And now if you've got Facebook and you've got Messenger, they can turn on your computer. You give them permission to turn on your speaker, your video, you name it. It's crazy. You've lost your ability to disconnect, to just be human, to say the things that you want to say, to feel anymore. And what's funny is the left wants to tell you how to feel. They want to tell you how to view all these things that you find peculiar. You can't say that. You can't do that. You can't be this. You can't have your own observations about, some, crazy thing that you see. I used the analogy, the example the other day of two guys kissing. That's weird to me. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I'm saying in my sensibilities where I like women, I see two guys kissing and I see that as weird. And there's nothing you're going to tell me that's going to make that not weird to a heterosexual man. But they want, no, if you see that as weird, you're homophobic. There's nothing to do with homophobia. If I see a hairless cat, I think that's weird. Most of the cats I've seen, they have hair. If I see a bald-headed woman, I see it as weird. She may be stunning. In fact, I know some. A couple of them. Or they have really short hair, and I'm like, wow, she's gorgeous. But I'm used to seeing women with longer hair. It's weird. Doesn't make it wrong. Final thing that they say in the opening is it was a spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. So, again, I go back to, we've got Trump. It is the spring of hope. We elected this man. We could call it the fall of hope. The autumn of hope. I want to make it sound like it's a negative, the fall of hope. The autumn of hope. Donald Trump was elected, but it was the winter of despair. Because he's not allowed to do what he wants to do. Because there's a cadre of people, evildoers out there who want to make sure that he's not successful. Why? Not because his ideas don't work. His ideas are great. We know his ideas work. They've already begun to work. I saw somebody put a thing out. I think it was one of the Kennedys. Joe Kennedy, one of the Kennedy boys, said Donald Trump may go down as the greatest president in history. This is a Kennedy. And somebody tweeted, he already is. And I have to tell you, I'm inclined to believe it. Donald Trump's ability to get things done marvels anybody. So let's read the whole thing from Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of it was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. And such is the duality of man. And I talked earlier about a truism, a house divided cannot stand. What do you want me to say about it? A house divided against itself cannot survive. And so we're witnessing this right now. You're trying to fix it. I have no beef with the left. I know they're idiots, but I can tolerate you. But what I can't tolerate is an idiot who would be destructive in interfering with goodness. When we were interfering with Barack Obama and the left were calling us idiots, we were trying to prevent these idiots from getting what they wanted. It's like when you interfere in the midst of your kids. You go, look, stop eating all that candy. You're going to get a stomachache. You just don't want me to have the candy. No, I don't want you to get a stomachache and have rotten teeth. If we just left them to their own devices, that's essentially what they would be. They'd be a bunch of little kids with stomach aches and rotten teeth. So when we try to stop them, it's meaningful. But they're trying to stop progress. They see progress. There was nothing to see over there with the Democrats. Nothing. Barack Obama was a waste of space, and they know it now, and they hate us for it.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.